నమస్తే వ్యూస్, ముఖేష్ పర్నా గారు మనతో ఉన్నారు. వీరి జర్నీ కొంచెం ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్‌గా అనిపిస్తది మీ అందరికి. నార్మల్‌గా ఎవరైనా లైఫ్ సెటిల్‌మెంట్ అంటే ఇక్కడ జాబ్ సంపాదించి లేకపోతే ఎంఎస్‌కి అక్కడికి యూఎస్‌కెళ్ళడమో, ఇక్కడ జాబ్ సంపాదించి జాబ్ పరంగా యూఎస్‌కెళ్ళడమో, అక్కడికెళ్తే ఇక్కడ సంపాదించుకొని ఫ్యామిలీ బిల్డ్ చేసుకొని లైఫ్ సెటిల్‌మెంట్ అనుకుంటారు. వీరు జాబ్ పరంగా యూఎస్ ఎళ్లి అక్కడ సాఫ్ట్‌వేర్ జాబ్ చేస్తూ కొన్నాళ్ళకి అది క్విట్ చేసి అక్కడి నుండి మళ్ళీ పరిగెత్తారనమాట రియల్ ఎస్టేట్‌లో. అక్కడి నుంచి పరిగెత్తి ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఒక 20 ఇయర్స్ ఆఫ్ జర్నీ అయింది రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ ఇప్పుడు యూఎస్‌లో. ఎన్నో కంపెనీస్ స్థాపించారు. సక్సెస్‌ఫుల్‌గా అక్కడ రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ రంగంలో రాణించారనమాట. ముఖేష్ పర్న గారు వాళ్ళు మనతో ఉన్నారు. నమస్తే అండి.
నమస్తే.
దట్స్ క్వైట్ బిగ్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్. సో, యూ డిజర్వ్ దట్. ఎందుకంటే మీ జర్నీ అంత పెద్దది.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Nothing, just a simple guy starting here. Roots are in India.
Yeah.
And that's what we believe. And that gave us that hard-working thing. Kada. So that
అమేజింగ్
keeps us
లైన్
blessed.
అండి. మన రూట్స్ ఇండియాలో ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి దట్స్ గేవ్ అస్ దట్స్ హార్డ్ వర్కింగ్ నేచర్ అనేది. దట్స్ అమేజింగ్ లైన్ టు స్టార్ట్ విత్.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for conducting the interview. Myself, Mukesh Parna. I came here for the APTA Catalyst event. Part of the Catalyst leadership team also setting up this event, and there are a lot of thousands of volunteers also involved in the back end. But core intent of doing this is to for making sure all our community people are spread across the world now, right? Doing different things and in different categories of verticals in different segments. Out of that, real estate is just one segment. So our intent was to bring all the people in different segments together in one platform. And India was definitely a good location which everyone is rootly connected to. So it made it more viable to do it here. All the entrepreneurs in different segments under one roof, one umbrella. And that was the core intent of Catalyst, basically. So now finally it is coming together. And we have crossed 3,000 registrations today. I just saw that. And kudos to all the volunteers who have worked that. And you will see different panels all come together in different segments tomorrow. And we'll take it from there and hoping for the best. So
అమేజింగ్ సార్. కానీ సార్ ఆంట్రప్రెన్యూర్స్ ఇన్ రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ అంటే చాలా అరుదుగా వింటూ ఉంటాం అనమాట ఈ మాట. అంటే ఏదైనా బిజినెస్‌లోకి వాళ్ళ ఇన్వెస్ట్‌మెంట్ వాళ్ళ దాకా పెట్టుకొని వాళ్ళ వరకు పెట్టుకొని వెళ్ళేది ఒకటి. రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ ఇస్ వాస్ట్. అంటే చాలా స్కోప్ ఉంది ఇందులో. ఎక్కడ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి, ఎక్కడ ఎండ్ అవుతుంది, ఎక్కడ కష్టాలు వస్తాయని కూడా ఈవెన్ వీ కాంట్ ఎస్టిమేట్. మిగతా బిజినెస్‌లో అయితే వీ కెన్ ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్ ఇది, సెకండ్ స్టెప్ ఇది, కష్టం వచ్చినప్పుడు వీ హ్యావ్ దిస్ అంటే బ్యాకప్ ఒకటి ఉంది అని. కానీ ఆంట్రప్రెన్యూర్స్ ఇన్ రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ అనేది మీరేం ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు క్యాటలిస్ట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్లో? ఆర్ దేర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి అంటే మీరు ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేసిన నెంబర్ వస్తా అనుకుంటున్నారా ఇన్ దిస్ సెక్టర్?
yes, definitely. I think and not only just real estate sector, I think there are a lot of people coming from different sectors. I myself want to learn different and explore different sectors. I'm looking forward to a lot of different panels also. Real estate definitely was through because that's a common thing. Very I think I should say there is real estate in every Indian's blood. So so I think we expect the same over there too. But దీంట్లో ఏంటంటే we want to introduce both real estate in India and also real estate in US. How it is different and what opportunities are on both sides of the location basically. So as an entrepreneur ante I started real estate first as an investor only, like most of the people do. Learning the ropes and understanding the basic fundamentals is extremely important in any field. Same thing with us too. 4 or 5 years I just invested and learned and invested and learned, and then I started providing it as a service. So when we founded a company around it, so that we provided the same services to others also. Because when I was investing, I could not find good advisors and good agents antaru US lo, real estate agents who could guide a investor on what to do, what not to do, and step-by-step process. They were in it for just completing the sale transaction. Because once they get sales transaction done, they are done. It doesn't matter to them whether the investment did good, bad or not. So that's what I realized. Then I said, man, this is not working out for me, right? It's not a good advice that I'm getting from them, right? They are just looking only up to transaction. So that's when I realized that maybe there are a lot more people like me also who really genuinely want good investment portfolios, and realtors are just doing their job as a transaction ani. Appudu then I started my brokerage company, but I did not wanted to do the small transactions, so I don't do anything in residential segment and everything. We specialize in land and commercial, and they are also usually very large land parcels lone involved అవుతాం మేము. Our minimum investor project properties will be roughly around 4 to 5 million. And then we look at anything above that. That's when we specialize, and that's how we get involved to help anyone. And then we also buy it for ourselves too. So when we started our services for buy and sell, that was focused on primarily ourselves as a client also, and plus other close people in the community who wanted to get advice and get into the same field, basically investment. Then later on we added more different services as year progressed, and as we grew, and we realized there are other services also that can be utilized in real estate, which is normal services in US. But then we brought them in-house, and we started those services to offer to other clients also. Like we started title company, which is registration, which we call registration services in India. In US, it's a privately granted. So akada US lo, you don't have to go to a government registrar office. It can be privatized. But a privatization ki license untadi. So you have to acquire that license. It's a long process. And once you get licensed for that, then you can close for others. You can do title transfers for anyone. So, but again, there are licensed agents and escrow officers and attorneys who do the work. Alani. So our services we started back in 2022 also. Then 2024 lo property management services. So I started chesam because we had our own good enough size of assets that we thought we need to bring in property management ourselves. So then, but then anytime we bring in a service for ourselves, to scale, it also makes sense to provide the same service to other people also. Because then it creates the volume sufficient enough to cover the operating cost basis. And also the same service that we are getting for ourselves, we think everyone else also deserves the same service. So we provide the same level of service to them. The same assets that we own are the same assets we manage for others also. So in that way, we know what we are doing for ourselves, with the same services we offer to others.
Okay. Sir, what do you feel about Indian real estate? How is it? అంటే ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని సిటీస్ తీసుకుంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ హైదరాబాద్ అంటే పీపుల్ ఫీల్ దట్ మొత్తం సాచురేట్ అయిపోయింది, హై ప్రైజెస్, వీ కాంట్ ఈవెన్ బై విత్ ఇన్ ద సిటీ, కొంచెం కూడా ల్యాండ్ మనం తీసుకోలేము ఇప్పుడు, అంత హై ప్రైజెస్ ఉన్నాయి, బెటర్ మూవ్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ద సిటీ అట్లా అనుకుంటున్నారు. ఇలాగ ఫ్యూ కేసెస్ ఉన్నాయి, ఫ్యూ సిటీస్ ఉన్నాయి ఇండియాలో. హౌ డూ యూ ఫీల్ అంటే ఇక్కడ రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ కంపేర్ టు అమెరికా, హౌ డూ యూ ఫీల్?
ఇక్కడ బిగ్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటంటే హియర్ ల్యాండ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ యాజ్ అబండెంట్ యాజ్ ఇన్ యుఎస్. So when I went to US 98 and then till 2010 I should say, land was not a trading commodity in US. It was abundant. So you don't do like, oh, buy land today, it will appreciate and you can sell. That scenario was not there for a long time. Here in India is different. You have population concentrated in few cities. Of course, population is multiples of over there, and land is much less compared to over there. ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇవ్వాలంటే వన్ స్టేట్ ఇన్ యుఎస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఈక్వివలెంట్ యాజ్ బిగ్ యాజ్ ద ఎంటైర్ కంట్రీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. Few states, Texas, California kalustene they are much bigger than total of India. So that's the reason why we cannot compare apples to apples when it comes to land. So akkada land abundant ga undi kabatti it's not a trading thing. Because people just move away. Oh, if it is too expensive, I'll just move 5 miles away. Because roads unnai, infrastructure unnai, utilities unnai, government provides a lot of infrastructure akada. So there is no reason for you to overpay something unless you have a specific need to be in a specific location. 90% of the people will just go where it is affordable. They get the same amenities. So that's the reason ikkadiki akkadiki compare cheyalem akada. So but in 2010 నుంచి few states లో అక్కడ like especially Texas దాంట్లో high demand population transition ఎక్కువైంది. సో few స్టేట్స్లో in the last 25 years I have been there. Few స్టేట్స్లో ఎప్పుడు పాపులేషన్ షిఫ్ట్ ఉంటుంది. There is always population shift, but there was a high influx of population going from north to south. Okay, multiple reasons. దానికి సన్ బెల్ట్ రీజన్ అంటారు. That includes Texas all the way to Florida. Texas, Atlanta, Arizona and Florida. అక్కడ పాపులేషన్ ఎక్కువ మూవ్ అయ్యేకి డిమాండ్ కొంచెం ఎక్కువైంది. పాపులేషన్ సేమ్ లైక్ సిమిలర్ టు ఇండియా ఎగ్జాంపుల్, దెన్ యూ కెన్ గివ్ దట్ సేయింగ్ దట్ అక్కడ పాపులేషన్ ఇన్ఫ్లో అవుట్ఫ్లో రెండు ఉంటాయి, బట్ ద నెట్ పాపులేషన్ ఇన్ఫ్లో వాజ్ మోర్. టెక్సస్, అరిజోనా, జార్జియా ఎస్పెషల్లీ అండ్ ఫ్లోరిడా. ఫ్లోరిడా ఏంటంటే దాంట్లో కొంచెం ఫ్యాక్టర్ ఏంటంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ వెకేషన్ ప్లేస్ ఆల్సో అండ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో ఏ రిటైర్మెంట్ హబ్ యుఎస్లో. సో 2 వేరియబుల్ ఫ్యాక్టర్స్ ఉంటాయి దాంట్లో. ఓకే, సో దట్ కెన్ చేంజ్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ హౌ మెనీ పీపుల్ ఆర్ రిటైరింగ్ అండ్ హౌ మెనీ పీపుల్ ఆర్ స్పెండింగ్ మనీ ఆన్ వెకేషన్, రైట్? బట్ ఇన్ అరిజోనా, టెక్సస్ అండ్ జార్జియా ఇట్స్ స్టేబుల్. It's like it's not a vacation place or it's not a retirement place. Kabatti it is people who are moving there usually stay longer. So you can count the number of people staying there to stay longer on an average. In an average, they did a study several years back saying that an average person in US moves every 7 years. Okay, so even if you take that average and if there is a net population inflow gain in that state or city or that location, it's a decent time frame for you to build your projects and make sure the gap in the market is provided by providing those projects or services. So let's say 1,000 people are moving in every month in a specific city, right? So where will they live? Where will they rent their place? Will they buy a house? Where will they go for school, their kids' school? Where will they do shopping? రైట్, ఈ బేసిక్ నీడ్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా. సో దానికి దెర్ ఆర్ మల్టిపుల్ కేటగిరీస్లే. లైక్ అక్కడ రెంటింగ్కి మల్టీ ఫ్యామిలీ అపార్ట్మెంట్ అంటారు. ఓకే, దే మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద పీపుల్ ఫస్ట్ రెంట్, దెన్ దే ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ ద ఏరియా, దే ఫైండ్ ద స్కూల్స్ దే వాంట్ ఫర్ దేర్ కిడ్స్, etc. And what place they like, their relatives are where, whatever, based on that they identify their location. Then they will move to and buy a house, single family home or town home or whatever, attached home, detached home, whatever their choice is according to their budget, living and everything. Then wherever they move, they need place to shop, right?
Obviously.
So ala daniki commercial antam ala. And then if they want to send their schools like newborn kids to Montessori schools or something, then they need Montessori schools area. So these are it's a cycle.
Yeah,
it's a continuous cycle, but that cycle only works where there is net inflow of population increasing. If the net outflow of population is more than the net inflow of population, then you find vacant properties.
Yeah,
right? So then it's tough for you because then the cash flow and everything comes into play and it's a tough market to survive. So you need to identify those locations primarily, identify the net population inflow and then what kind of product also works. So dantlo konni equations untai, like ipudu let's say there are some cities in Dallas overall saw a huge growth. మన డాలస్లో పాపులేషన్ వాజ్ ద హైయెస్ట్ ఫర్ ద లాస్ట్ 6 years ఇన్ ఎ స్ట్రీట్ రో కంటిన్యూస్లీ. సో దాంట్లో మేము డాలస్లో అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక 20-30 సిటీస్ ఉన్నాయి. డాలస్ ఈజ్ ఏ రీజన్, ఇట్స్ కాల్డ్ సబర్బ్స్ మార్కెట్ అండ్ సబ్ మార్కెట్ అంటారు. డాలస్ ఫోర్ట్ వర్త్ ఈజ్ ఎ మార్కెట్, దాంట్లో సిటీస్ ఈజ్ ఎ సబ్ మార్కెట్. సో దాంట్లో 20 సిటీస్ ఉన్నాయి విచ్ ఆర్ గ్రోయింగ్ ఎక్స్ట్రీమ్లీ ఫాస్ట్, రైట్? సో ఆ సిటీస్లో మేమేం చూస్తామంటే ఓకే, what is the average spending ratio of a person? What is the excess income they have, spending income, spendable money antam daniki, or what is the average age of the population that is moving there? Are they in their 20s, 30s or 40s or 50s, right? Based on that we determine what kind of a product will it work. If it is in their 30s, most of the people are just getting married, have new kids, so we will put single family project over there. Based on their income we will decide what is the level of the home that we want to build. If the average income is only 100,000 total combined together jointly, we will put a house that fits according to that budget. Exactly. But if there are areas where the average income is 200,000, then we will put a bigger home product in those locations. Exactly. So and then again you have to match school districts, if it is a good school district or not, and then so based on all those formulas, first we need to determine what goes where.
ఎక్కడ
Then after that అక్కడికి ఇక్కడికి డిఫరెన్స్ మెయిన్ ఏంటంటే జోనింగ్. ఇక్కడ ఏంది రెసిడెన్షియల్, కమర్షియల్ అండ్ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్.
డిఫరెంట్
I have seen places in here in some prime locations also, they are all next to each other.
అవును
అది అక్కడ చాలా planned గా ఉంటుంది. So I just
Separate,
cannot put a industrial property right next to a residential home. Well, zoning iru city వాళ్ళు. Same thing with, I cannot put an apartment right next to a huge single family home villa which is $1 million homes. Permissions raw. So it's called zoning. So then you have to play with that, saying that which land can I buy and rezone to use that. లేకపోతే ఆ ల్యాండ్ నాకు యూజ్లెస్ కదా.
అంతే కదా.
If I buy a land which is currently zoned as, let's say, multifamily, but that is not a product that fits there, I want to change the zoning to residential or vice versa. The land is zoned for residential and you want to zone it to multifamily. And if the city doesn't give you permission, then you can't do it, right? So that's your next level of hurdle that you have to cross. So that is different slightly over here. I don't know too much details about India gani, but there are certain cities that are more flexible, certain that are not. But every city is very particular about zoning.
ఐ థింక్ అది అంత ఈజీగా అయ్యి ఉండదు. రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ ఇస్ ద టఫెస్ట్ థింగ్ అంటే యూ హ్యావ్ టు, అంటే స్టార్టింగ్లో మీరు ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ అలా ఉన్నా, సెల్లింగ్ అనేది ద బిగ్గెస్ట్ హడిల్ కదా. ఎదుటి వాళ్ళు ఒప్పుకోవాలి అండ్ కన్విన్స్ చేయడానికి కూడా వీ హ్యావ్ టు గివ్ ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ రీజన్స్.
So on the sell side of the projects, right? So when you define your project well and it meets the right criteria, right, then we do something called market research. We do a market research on every project before we get into that project itself. So that gives you certain amount of confidence. It's not a 100% guarantee, but at least you know what are the hurdles you are going to face. దాని అనుసారం మీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ కొంచెం డిఫినేషన్ చేంజ్ చేయొచ్చు. Like okay, you are going for $500,000 single town home, and if the market demand is saying that no, most of the projects nearby are all in the 350 to 400,000 range అనుకోండి, you redefine your product.
Exactly.
Right. So by doing that, that helps a little bit to mitigate those risks and everything. So you're going into the mainstream basically.
Exactly.
You can change the market, right? That's very few people who are lucky enough to go and do that. Manhattan areas, but our goal should be to, what is the market? Is your product a right fit to the market? That is what we specialize in.
Yes,
and then we get into those kind of projects. So those are risk mitigation strategies. Gani risk is never zero in real estate. As you say, there is always a high probability your project did not sell. And then development lo with the very risk lo kuda untai. Interest rate went up, market tanked in 2 years, there is not enough demand, COVID came, there are a lot of other variable factors that are outside of your control. But you can just plan saying that what is your cost of the product, what is your probability of success, and what is the gap, that's the margin that you can play with. And in that margin, how much can you sustain? Right. So if you do all that math correctly, we call it initial pro forma and final pro forma. If you do all that math correctly, then usually it works so far.
Amazing.
So far it has worked out. We have done 14 projects, and all of them worked out very well for us and our investors.
It's great talking to you, sir. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting. Appreciate it.